see right over here, these, see the layers there?
Yeah.
Each one of those layers about 6 inches deep is an individual flood event. There's other places you can see it a little better, but that's those are the loess, or the sandy loam deposits from the flood, and the soils here are very deep. This, and when we saw this, we said, "Oh, you got to plant Syrah here." This, of course, that's what, of course.
Yeah, well, the river rocks, Yeah,
and it would all. I think it would be a good site for Grenache, any your own varieties.
Right.
But it was at the time there was still some question about Grenache back at that point.
Right.
And now we've realized this would be a great point. But you can really see how it's just sand and gravel. In fact, it's actually a little more coarse than the loess.
Right.
There's some loess in here, but there's also more coarse sand and river deposits.
And he's like, why do they keep asking me about the vineyards? And my mom's like, well, because in France you're nothing unless you own land. So at that point he's like, well, that's it. Because they were kind of like, should we build a winery? Should we buy land? Like, we can only do one or the other. So they bought 40 acres on sort of a tip from my dad's buddy out here. So we went to a high school reunion in '89. And the guy said, well, you got to buy on Red Mountain. Like, this place is going to blow up. It's going to be the best fruit in the state. And so they bought this first 40 acres for like $1,200 an acre.
Wow. With
water. We got the last private water right ever granted for this area. And we planted grapes. And so this area kind of sat empty until 93, 94. And kind of got the bare bones of the winery built at that point, so we could actually produce wine here, and so that's how we got here.
agriculture, and it has been agriculture, and so it's just really neat to have that history here and be able to kind of, tell a story about how, it wasn't grapes, but people have been farming here for a really long time, and so we like the historical character that farm brings to the property and how it ties us to the history of the place. And if you just simply looked at the trunks, you wouldn't think that because they're smaller, right? And the reason is because we've retrained those trunks up because of some winter damage that we've had in the vineyard. But the base of the trunks is actually really huge. So this one, this is the base of the plant. And so because these plants have been here for so long, they have just an amazing root structure, and we're going to get the character out of these grapes, you know, of an older plant, even though we've had to retrain it. So that's kind of fun and exciting.